Hello everyone, this is Deepak Gupta logging on this platform of College Dekho Learn on YouTube, and we will continue our journey on the valuation of equity shares. And in this part 3 today, we will be discussing some special cases where the equity will be valued in three special circumstances, and all other cases have already been discussed in our earlier sessions. And these three special cases are the valuation as per the Gordon model of dividend payment, as per Walter model of dividend payment, and this is a special case which we will be discussing as per the data. So in this third case, I will discuss an exam question, DU exam question with you, where you will feel that sometimes the data is so scattered that you have to use the concept of time value of money to arrive at the solution. So firstly, we will undertake the Gordon model. So as per the Gordon model of dividend payment, you have already known that the current market price will be equal to E multiplied by 1 minus B divided by cost of equity minus BR. And in this formula, this E denotes the earning per share and this B denotes the retention ratio. So if you can see that effectively thus this 1 minus B becomes the dividend payout ratio. The dividend payout ratio. And therefore, effectively this earning per share multiplied by 1 minus B, that is dividend payout ratio, effectively becomes the D, that is the dividend per share. Okay. Further, this KE, this denotes the cost of equity, that is what is effectively the returns from the equity to the investor. This B as seen earlier is the retention ratio, obviously it is the same thing. And this G, this denotes the rate of return, which is expected, or we should say expected rate of return of the investor, with the basic assumption that this BR is equal to G, which is the growth rate of dividend, or we can say it is the annual growth rate of dividend, and this is the assumption. So basically this formula has been derived as we discussed in the last session, that this P0 is effectively D1 upon make K minus G. So from that earlier formula of growing perpetuity or growing dividend, where the dividend was presumed to be growing at a single growth rate, we have this, Mr. Gordon has derived the formula from this format to this format. So we will find here that as per the Gordon, it was presumed and it was proved through this formula that higher is the dividend payout, higher is the market price, or we should say lower is the retention ratio, lower is the market price. So you will see as per the example, the data that I am giving you here, that the market price will change in proportion to the dividend, So I have just arrange some data for you so that we can prove the theory, or we can decide about the valuation of the equity as per the Gordon model. So the question says Mr. Sunil has a required rate of return of 16%. So in this question, the required rate of return is 16%, and this question is from DU exam. So I'm just reading from the last paper so that we can solve it as per the Gordon. So Mr. Sunil has a required rate of return of 16%, that is R here is 16%. He has made investment in the shares of ABC Limited. Using the Gordon's model, find the value of the share, that is we have to calculate the P0 if the earning per share, the EPS, that is the E, has been given at rupees 10 the rate of return on investment. So here the rate of return on the investment is given again. So if this is the rate of return on the investment, then this R will be presumed to be the KE, because it is what you are saying, that this is because the rate of return on investment is 20%, then what is being given to the shareholder will become the cost of equity, So it depends on the data, it depends on the question's language, that if the rate of investment is given, then the rate of return of the equity shareholder from the company will become the cost of equity. So because this was the rate of return to Mr. Sunil, the shareholder, who is going to buy the shares of the company, therefore it will effectively become the KE. So this is actually RE, that is KE. So in this formula, we can also say that KE is equal to return on the equity, and this R is equal actually rate of investment. We can also show it that way. So here the question says the KE is 16% and the R is 20%, and it is presumed, or it has been said, that there are three options. The options are that the retention ratio is either 0%, or it is 40%, or it is 60%. So it is a DU BCom question where we have to calculate the P0 as per the Gordon model in three scenarios, that out of the earnings of rupees 10, no retention has been made. It means in this case the dividend is rupees 10. 40% retention has been made, it means the dividend is rupees 6, and 60% retention has been made, it means the dividend is rupees 4. So what is happening here, that for different retention ratios, for different R and different rate of returns, you have to calculate the price of the equity share. So if we use in this case 1, that is the P0 will be equal to E1 minus B upon KE minus BR. So if you will see here, in the first case, retention ratio is 0. ठीक है, तो अगर आप पहला रिटेंशन लेके चलोगे तो जो डिविडेंड है वो पूरा का पूरा 10 हो गया. तो या तो मैं ऊपर वाले केस में पूरा का पूरा 10 लिख सकता हूँ, या इसको शो कर सकता हूँ दिस 1 माइनस 0% अपॉन में KE दैट इज 0.16 minus B is 0% multiplied by rate is 20%. So this will come out to be 10 upon 0.16. So the figure will come out to be 10 divided by 0.16. That is, the market price will be rupees 62.50. Now if we take the case 2 here, so the P0 that will be E is 10. So now 1 minus 40%, that is 0.40 upon में KE is 0.16 minus, so it will be 40% multiplied by 16%. So this will be 6 upon 0.16 minus 0.064. This will be equal to 0.16 minus 0.064, so it is 0.096. तो अगर आप 6 को डिवाइड करोगे 0.096 से, so this is also 16 BR. Oh sorry, this figure is 20%. I just put it wrongly at 16. So this comes out to be just for the clarification. ये R 16% नहीं है, 20% है. This will come out to be 0.08. So this will be 6 divided by 0.08. So 6 divided by 0.08, it will be coming out to be 75 rupees. It is coming out to be 75 rupees, and as The case 3, the P0 will be 10 1 minus 0.60 upon में 0.16 minus 60% of 20%. So it will be 4 upon 0.16 minus 0.12. So it will be 4 upon 0.04. So 4 divided by 0.04. So this will coming out to be 100 rupees. So here the market price is increasing as the dividend is going down because the rate of return on investment is more than the cost of equity, which affects the dividend distribution in a adversely. So we can use the calculation of market price based on Gordon's model by using this formula. Now, if we move on to the Walter model, so we can also use the Walter model. We can also use the Walter model for the valuation of the equity share by using the formula. So as per the Walter model, the P0 will be equal to D upon KE plus R divided by KE multiplied by E minus D upon में KE with the symbols denoting the same things as earlier, that is D is the dividend per share, E is the earning per share, R is the rate of return on investment, and KE is the cost of equity. So you also find here that whether the market price will increase or the market price will decrease depend whether R is more than KE, whether the R is less than KE, or whether the R is equal to KE. So I can just tell you simply from here that if R is equal to KE, then the DP ratio does not affect the market price. And if that is not the case, that is in these two scenarios, different DP ratios will affect the market price of the share. So both Walter model and Gordon model justifies the effect of dividend policy on the value of the equity share. And this we will do in detail in our further sessions to come. So if I come again with the data which we have arranged from another DU question. So we normally take questions from Delhi University because ideally the question level at undergraduate level in Delhi University is normally higher than other universities. We are not undermining any other university, but at undergraduate level, the question paper level is quite good in DU. So here, if we take the data, the XYZ Limited has 5 lakh equity shares outstanding. The profit, I will take some. Chaliye, we will take the same thing. The profit for the current year is rupees 30 lakhs. The equity capitalization rate to it is 15%. So in this question, the equity capitalization rate, that is KE, is 15%. The company follows a dividend policy as per Walter model. So we follow the Walter model for dividend distribution. So how it will affect the value of the share, that is what we will discuss. And the dividend payout ratios have been taken in this case to be 5, that is from 0% to 20% to 50% to 75% to 100%, that is from nil dividend to 100% dividend. So we will calculate price in these 5 cases. So P1, P2, P3, P4 and P5, that is which price will be higher depend upon whether the R is equal to KE, whether the R is more than KE, or whether the R is less than KE. Okay? And the question says the calculate the market price of the share under different DP ratios if the rate of return. So the question has been framed that if the rate of return is say 18% per annum. So it is 18% per annum. So what we are lacking in this formula is the E. So we will calculate the E from the above data. What was that? That the company had 5 lakh equity shares and the profit for the current year is 30 lakhs. So the earning per share will be equal to profit upon number of equity shares. So that will come out to be 30 lakhs divided by 5 lakh equity share. So EPS has been taken, that is EPS will be E, that is rupees 6. So we will solve this question with EPS 6. So if we take the case 1 where the DP ratio is 0%. So in this case the P1, so dividend will be 0 upon 0.15 plus R is 0.18 divided by 0.15 multiplied by 6 minus 0 upon 0.15. So if we solve it here, so this is 0 plus 0.18 divided by 0.15. So it comes out to be 1.2 multiplied by 6 upon 0.15. Multiply 1.6 into 6, that comes out to be 7.2 upon 0.15. That will come out to be 48 rupees. So P1 will be coming out to be 48 rupees. Now if we take the case 2, that is the DP ratio is 20%. So it means the D will be 6 into 20%. It will be 1.20 rupees. It means the P2 will be 1.20 upon 0.15 plus 0.18 divided by 0.15 multiplied by 6 minus 1.2 divided by 0.15. So it will be 1.20 plus 1.2 multiplied by 4.8 and is overall divided by 0.15. So this 1.2 multiplied by 4.8 plus 1.20, that is 6.96 divided by 0.15 divided by 0.15. It comes out to be rupees 46.40. 46.40. Now if we now come to case 3. So here the DP ratio has been taken to be 50%. So the dividend is 6 into 50%, that is rupees 3. So the P3 here will be 3 plus 1.2 multiplied by 3, 6 minus 3 upon by 0.15. So this will come out to be 6.6 upon 0.15. Now you can solve it. 6.6 divided by 1.15. So this will come out to be 44 rupees. Similarly, if I take the case 4, that is the DP ratio is 75%, that the dividend is 6 into 75%, that is 4.5 rupees. So the P4, that will be 4.5 plus 1.2 multiplied by 1.5 upon 0.15. So it will be 1.2 multiplied by 1.5, 1.8 plus 4.5 divided by 0.15. So the dividend will be rupees 42. And if we now take the last case, that is the case 5, that is the DP ratio is 100%. So now the dividend is 6 into 100%, that is 6 rupees. So the P5 will be 6 plus 1.2 into 0 upon 0.15. So it will be 6 upon 0.15. So 6 divided by 0.15, it will be equal to 40 rupees. So now if you see that we have calculated P1, P2, P3, P4 and P5. So it was 48 rupees, it was 46.40 rupees, it was 44, it was 42, it was 40. The DP ratio was 0%, 20%, 50%, 75% and 100%. So as the dividend is increasing, the market price is decreasing, as was the case in Gordon model, because the R is more than the cost of equity. The R was 18% and the K was 15%. So why, that will be discussed that when we will discuss the dividend policy under Walter model, Gordon model. But if it could have been vice versa, that is R could have been 15% and the K could have been 18%, then this trend would have been reversed. With increase in the dividend payout ratio, the market price would have increased. So whether the increase in the dividend will increase the value of the share or will decrease the value of the share will depend upon the R or the KE. So these two theories of Walter and Gordon normally breaks this jinx that higher the dividend payout, higher is the market price of the share. So this jinx that dividend is proportional to market price is not always true. So these two theories are important because it breaks this jinx that it is not possible always that as the dividend increase, the market price will increase, because it all depends upon whether R is more than KE, whether R is less than KE, or whether R is equal to KE. Because if they all both would have been equal, that is if R is equal to KE, then if I calculate market price in all these 5 cases, यानी कि दोनों R और K 18% होते या दोनों 15% होते, तो जहाँ ये फिगर 1.2 ली है ये फिगर 1 हो जाती, और उस केस में मार्केट प्राइस हर बार कांस्टेंट आएगा. और अगर R लेस देन K हो जाएगा तो जहाँ ये फिगर 1.2 ली है ये 1.2 की से लेस देन 1 हो जाएगी, और लेस देन 1 होते ही ये मार्केट प्राइस जो कम हो रहा है ये बढ़ना शुरू हो जाएगा. तो वी विल हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड कि डिविडेंड के बढ़ने से मार्केट प्राइस शेयर का बढ़ेगा या नहीं बढ़ेगा. इट ऑल डिपेंड्स ऑन द वैल्यू ऑफ द शेयर, एंड the value of the share is not always dependent on the dividend. It all depends on so many factors. So the earlier part of the valuation of the equity shares linked the price of the share with the dividend payment and the growth of the dividend. These Walter model and Gordon model also tried to link it, but not unconditionally. That is, with certain conditions, it may be true. It may be true. Is that okay? So now we have to understand and realize that both, whether it's a Walter model or a Gordon model, they both, Gordon model and Walter model, have to be followed, but we have to follow this formula as per the Gordon model, and when we have to come towards the Walter model, then the formula to be used, just in the beginning I am writing that P0 will be equal to D upon KE plus R upon KE multiplied by E minus D, or whole divided by KE. This is what we use as per Volta formula. But they both will give the value as per the value of R and KE. So they are crucial. Now, if there are other cases, then in all these above cases, the time value of money is the key. So, time value of money is the key, is the technique to calculate P0. Because we presume that P0 is the present value. P0 is the present value of all future returns, whether they are dividend or whether they are future market price, that is PM. So if some question provides data where the future expected dividends are given and the future expected price of the equity is given, then the overall present value as per the expected rate of return, as per the expected rate of return, that is all the uh, the total present value of all expected dividends and future market price, and this present value will be calculated as per the expected rate of return. Then this total present value will denote the intrinsic value of the share, that is the worth value of the share. So if the actual market price of the equity is more than this intrinsic value, then we say that such share, such equity is expensive and we don't advise buy in such shares. And if vice versa is there, that is the actual price is less than the intrinsic value of the share, it means we say that such share is available at a discount in the market, or we say it is a value buy, that is the present market price of the share is much less than the intrinsic value of the share, and hence the share is put on a buy call. So we can decide about the buy or sell call or hold call of a share by calculating the present value of the expected dividends and the expected future price, and that present value will be known the intrinsic value of the share, and this intrinsic value as compared with the current market price decides whether a particular equity needs to be purchased or not. So on this note, we close this session on the valuation of equity share, and in the future session on this investment series we will take on now the fixed income securities, that is debentures and preference shares. Thank you. Goodbye.